currently is, it will fit too, but Chris, your RET may be extended pretty far, so just be cautious of that as you hand it off.
Copy that. Ready, Bob? I'm ready.
And Bob, you'll want your BRT RET to go to that tether point.
And Cassidy is now removing that adapter plate to hand it to Bankin.
Here you are. Closer. I'm ready to it. Copy. Here comes your RET. Just let it go. Got it. Okay.
And Bob, you'll stow the adapter plate on your BRT.
Control. Copy. Right, Bob, you have control and you have the RET. I have control and I have the RET. I'm releasing. Okay. I'm going to need to verse the GCA with Doug, so Jonathan, Bob, when you guys are synced up with talking, then I'll take the comm with Bob, with Doug. Get the BRT onto the adapter plate. Okay, that's complete.
Copy, Bob. With that, you can translate to the IAA, and I don't have any comms for you, so I'm good for the GCA if you are, Bob.
Yeah, let me get clear, Chris. Okay, copy. No pinching.
And the adapter plate just taken out by Chris Cassidy is now in the hands of Bob Bankin, who will now translate back to the truss to install the adapter plate in open slot number 2, while Cassidy installs the old battery in the slot he just emptied for disposal.
Here I go. Copy. Does it help me get ahead anything if I put stuff in the ORU bag now for that rotation if we end up going that route?
Checking. Chris, stand by one, and I'll get back to you on that. Okay, Chris, to answer your question, how we're proceeding on timeline, it looks like we'll be able to go to that first portion of EVA2 entirely. So with that, we would not need to rotate the EP, so you should not need to do anything.
Okay, copy. And I did just put my trash bag into the ORU bag with the RET.
Copy.
Okay, Doug, you there? We're going to reverse that GCA and go away from me like 30 centimeters.
Okay, copy that. You want motion station forward or pallet away from you 30 centimeters. Stand by.
Stay firm.
Here comes motion.
Copy. It's good motion.
Good motion.
Okay, Jaws, I will ingress the APFR.
Okay, that maneuver is complete. Anything else?
Yeah, hold that. I might need it. I just want to assess the battery. We removed the adapter plate, so the distance is a little different.
Copy. Standing by. Brakes are still off, so no working on the pallet.
Copy that.
Chris, you get free to pass a couple words to Bob.
Yes, NGCA for now.
Copy. NGCA.
Don't do your brakes yet.
Okay, Bob, I see you're getting in the APFR. You just want to make sure that the gap spanner is clear of slot 2, and you can reach the PGT with the hex driver as you do that.
Thanks, Josh. Gap spanner is clear. And I have ingressed the APFR. Okay, Doug. This is good. You can do your brake.
Okay, copy that. NGCA. Brakes are on. You're clear to maneuver.
Copy that. Coming in. And my PGT is accessible.
And Chris, I think I copied you're done with the GCA, so you're going to retrieve the battery from the BRT with H2 in your right hand, and you'll soft dock it, and then PGT settings are alpha 7, clockwise 2.
Okay, 7, clockwise 2.
And Bob, for you, once you make sure your ingress aid is tucked and your tethers are clear, you can inspect the IEA bolts and blind mate connectors.
The IEA bolts look clear to me. There's a little bit of scuffing on the H2 side. Maybe that's just a lubricant on the outer housing.
Okay, yep, and I've confirmed there is a lubricant there. And so looking for
H2.
no FOD and good EMI band and blind mate connectors. Copy, Chris.
Yep, just getting a good body position to see that. Good EMI band and no FOD in the connectors. 2 connectors.
Again, Cassidy is now working to install the old battery in the slot he just emptied for disposal, while Bob Bankin translates back to the truss to install the adapter plate in open slot number 2.
Okay. Green torquing light. 17 turns. I see the indicators in lock. Feels secure.
And Chris, could you say the torque again?
9.1 on the actual torque.
Copy, 9.1. With that, you could stow the PGT, release the RET, and egress the APFR.
Copy all.
Okay, good EMI band, no fault in the electrical connectors or the 2-bolt interfaces on the battery adapter plate. On the upside,
Copy, Bob.
flip it over to the downside.
A-firm, you want the blind mate connectors oriented station inboard, and you'll soft dock the adapter plate into slot 2.
Copy.
Does any work with scoops?
Checking. Negative, Chris. You can leave the scoops where they are.
Copy that. I'm egressing.
Okay, the adapter plate is soft docked.
Copy that, Bob. You can retrieve the PGT with the hex driver. That's the one that's on battery 4, and settings will be alpha 7 clockwise 2. And Chris, for you, as you get back on structure, you'll want to prepare the EP for translation, so make sure the ingress aid is stowed towards the boot plate and tethers are clear. And then once you're 5 feet clear of the external pallet, you can give SSRMS the go to maneuver to the EP Bravo position.
Okay. The ingress aid is against the boot plate. Okay, Doug. I am well clear. No tethers, no interference. You're clear to move.
Copy, Chris. Clear the work site. Here comes the maneuver to EP work site Bravo. It'll be another starboard maneuver, about a little over a meter.
Okay, copy.
Okay, Jaws, I've got alpha 7 set and clockwise 2 set. I'm getting ready to drive on H2.
A-firm H2, you'll confirm 1 line flush, looking for 16 to 17 turns.
1 line flush. Looking for 16 to 17 turns. Here we go. Okay, 17 and a half turns, green light, 9.6 on the torque for H2.
Copy, Bob. Same settings, alpha 7, clockwise 2 for H1. You'll confirm 2 lines, one of them flush.
And Cassidy just completed the work to install the old battery in the slot that was emptied for disposal, and Bankin is still working to install the adapter plate in open slot number 2 on the truss.
Confirmed 2 lines, one of them flush, verified, and can you say again number of turns?
It'll be 4.5 to 5.5 turns.
Okay, so 5 turns, green light, 9.0 on the torque.
Copy, Bob. You can tend that PGT with the hex driver back to the crew lock bag, and then unlock and release the red.
Copy. And Chris, I had to leave the adjustable on the battery there, so to move over here, I couldn't reach that other hook, so I'll let you take this.
Got it. And it's adjustable.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah. And that can go to the crew lock bag, is what John said.
Rig coming off of battery 4. Yeah, adjustable.
And Jaws, can you verify we removed the adjustable from the PGT to take it back to the crew lock bag?
Affirm. You can remove the adjustable.
Okay. So the adjustable stays with the PGT.
Stays with the PGT.
Yeah, you'll leave the adjustable on the PGT, so the PGT with the adjustable will go back to the crew lock bag.
And that's complete. All right, Josh, I'm just arriving at the work site and looking to tag out.
Okay, copy, Chris. So next, we'll be working the TA clamps and the AP connectors. Bob, over to you if you prefer to egress the APFR, and if there's room for both of you to work it. We're releasing 3 TA clamps and demating the adapter plate connector.
I'm going to go ahead and egress the APFR and then release the TA clamps. And we're just taking this electrical connector to release it from J4. Are we ready for that yet? Yep, to the battery up there at J4.
Yep, affirm. And the cap also needs to be moved from the lithium-ion battery.
You want to take the cap off, Chris? I'll get the TA clamps, get the cap, and then I'll pass you the electrical connector.
J4 cap is removed.
And that cap's going to be going to the adapter plate where Bob's removing that connector.
Roger that.
TA clamps are removed. Got the electrical connector.
I've got the electrical connector. Actually, can you hold it for a second? I need to get myself in a good position. All right.
Just to recap the last task completed by the crew, the new lithium-ion battery from slot A was installed in slot number 1. The crew then worked to remove the battery in slot number 2 and translated it over to the external pallet, where Cassidy removed an adapter plate and handed it off to Bankin. Bankin then translated to the truss to install the adapter plate in open slot number 2, while Cassidy then installed the old battery in the slot that was emptied for disposal. Next, together on the integrated electronics assembly assembly, Cassidy and Bankin will place a cable between the adapter plate and the new battery to complete the circuit.
Gap spanner is clear. Needed over center. I see the blue lines lined up.
Copy, good connection, and that connector cap that you took off will go on the adapter plate.
Copy.
And the connector cap is reinstalled on the adapter plate.
Copy. With that, we'll take glove, hat, and gauntlet checks from both of you.
And once that cable between the adapter plate and the new battery are complete to complete the circuit, one of the 3 battery pairs will be complete.
Copy, Chris.
All good. All good.
Gauntlets are up for EV2. Good hop check, and gloves still look to be in good shape.
Okay, good checks, Bob. Okay, next, big picture, we're going to be moving the battery from slot 3 onto the adapter plate you just installed in slot 2. So, Chris, if you can verify the PGT with the hex driver is clear of slot 3 and that the adapter plate...
Before we get started on that, Jaws, I'm sorry, before we get started on that, Chris, what do you think about that electrical cable? It's kind of right on. We're going to... Maybe we can put a twist in it or something, or...
Yeah, it's kind of,
And if you want to put a twist in it, stand by. Do not disconnect it right now.
Copy.
I think we can hold it out of the way if that's what we need to do. I just wanted to...
Okay, so definitely we got to watch it.
Could also just adjustable it out of the way there on the scoop there and clean that up later.
Yeah, we see you're using the bumper right now. If that holds, you're good, or you can use an adjustable or whatever else you need to hold it out of the way.
What do you think?
If you think it's good and we've got 2 people, we just may have to stay here until we get it locked. I think that's an I think it's going to stay.
I think it's going to stay. Yeah.
I think I'm ready for APFR settings, Josh.
Okay, you're going to roll the APFR to Foxtrot. And Chris, for you, I see you've already checked that connector cable, and then just making sure the PGT with the hex driver is clear of slot 3, and then you can reposition to the outboard radiator side of the IEA for the PGT transfer and to assist Bob if he needs it.
All right. Yeah, PGT, left bag, clear.
Copy.
Got the top spinner to deal with, Bob.
Okay. We can
slide it around.
And I see, Bob, you're working that gap spinner, and Chris, we're going to want your RET attached to the battery tether point for the battery in slot 3. For the battery in slot 3.
Okay. Copy that. have a ret.
See that you're routed to the battery?
Yep.
Copy, Chris. And Bob, once you're ingressed, make sure the ingress aid's tucked, your tethers are clear, and then we'll take a serial number.
Copy. Ingress aid is tucked. Serial number is 0091.
Copy, good serial number. Chris, you can hand the ratchet wrench to Bob. And Bob, you'll be going to H1 first.
I'm ahead of myself.
You want to do H1 since you're right in front of you?
I can, I just need to reconfigure my body. That tape looks place, or down and seated.
Good to me.
H1, torque broken.
Copy, H1's broken. Go to H2, same thing, confirm socket tape line's flush, less than 1 turn.
H2, socket tape is flush. Torque is broke.
Copy, and with that, we're 3 hours into the EVA. Limiting consumable is Medox on Bob at 6:30, and you're about an hour and 30 minutes ahead on the timeline. So with that, we still expect to be able to get the first block of EVA2 done with battery A to EP Bravo and adapter plate Bravo to slot 4 on the IEA.
Okay, we copy all. Thanks for that big picture.
Okay, PGT settings are Alpha 7, counter 2.
Alpha 7, counter 2.
You'll go to H1, confirm the socket tape line is flush, and looking for 8 turns.
Socket tape line is flush. Comes to turns. Indicators moving. There's 8 turns. It started clicking about 5 turns, so it should be well released.
Okay, and indicators unlocked?
Indicator is unlocked.
Copy, same settings, Alpha 7, counter
Now
2.
3 hours into today's spacewalk, the crew is running an hour and a half ahead of the original timeline. With one of the 3 battery pairs complete, Bankin and Cassidy will now move to slot 3 to remove the next aging battery. This battery will be stowed on the adapter plate in slot 2, where it is no longer needed to function. And you just heard Ground IV Jasmine McBelly tell the crew they're considering tackling the first block of EVA2, running this far ahead of schedule.
Is this smooth?
There's 19 turns. I believe it's unlocked. The indicator shows unlocked.
Copy, you can hand that PGT back to Chris and remove the battery from soft dock. Chris, you can stow the PGT back on your swing arm.
Okay, it's in work.
I'll pull it out once you're in a good position, Chris.
Yeah, okay. GT mode. Far enough away for you to get it out?
I think you probably need to move.
I think one more over.
Yeah, a little bit tricky because I'm kind of biased towards the H2 side with this APFR setting. Not to go there too far, but just enough to be clear.
All right.
Okay.
Nice. Tell me when you want me to grab it.
Okay, you can take it.
Okay.
You got it?
I have control of the battery.
You have control of the battery.
Okay, Bob, you're going to make sure your ingress aid's tucked, and then you're rolling the APFR into position to put you in front of H2 of the adapter plate you just installed on slot 2.
Copy.
Cable come up.
Yep.
Send the cable once you get back in there and sit.
Okay, I'm back in.
Bob, you'll check the gap spanner is clear and the ingress aid is clear of slot 2.
The ingress aid is clear, and we'll make sure that I get the battery from Chris, we'll control a little bit of the gap spanner.
Bankett and Cassidy have now removed the aging battery from slot 3. This battery will now be stowed on the adapter plate in slot 2, where it is no longer needed to function.
It's kind of all fins on this side.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm in a bit of a... There we go. You get it? Thank you.
Okay, let me reposition you can come off, I've got control.
You have control.
If you can just take control for a second, I'll flip my wrist.
Yep, I have control.
You have control? Okay, I have control.
You have control. Work into position here.
And Bob, you want H2 in your right hand or station inboard. You're going to soft dock the battery onto H2. And for your essay, we're going to have a handover in about 30 seconds.
All right, Bob, I've got the cable, I've got the gap spanner.
Okay.
On back. A little down. About 8 inches towards your feet. There you go. Looks lined up. You're lined up.
Again, Bankett and Cassidy have removed the aging battery from slot 3. This battery will now be stowed on the adapter plate in slot 2, where it is no longer needed to function. Cassidy and Bankett will return to the pallet to retrieve battery B, and they'll translate back to the truss and together install it in empty slot number 3.
Okay.
You know if you want me to put my hands on it and help, or I don't want to interact. Okay, I think that's lined up.
That's definitely not going on. How about, can you BRT to that,
BRT to the scoop.
To that scoop?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to come out of the APFR and go to the
Other side.
other side. Okay.
I'm at it.
I'm going to come out of the APFR.
Copy. That's lined up.
You think that's lined up?
I really do, yeah. I'm looking right along this black line that lined up the bumper plate.
Okay, it's probably just the adapter plate height.
The height, I think so. Cable is not interfering at all.
Okay.
I think you're good.
Okay. Thank you. This doesn't feel like much of a soft dock.
No, it really doesn't.
And Chris and Bob, we have heard that previously, so.
Okay, so I think I'm ready for the
PGT coming your way.
Okay, Bob, settings are Alpha 7, clockwise 2, and for your essay, the pair you just installed had a good checkout.
Great. Good news, thank you. Alpha 7, clockwise 2, and H2.
Affirm, and you're confirm the socket tape line is flush, looking for 16 to 17 turns. Socket tape line is flush, 16 to 17 turns.
Okay, the socket tape line is flush. Chris, watch closely to, of course, making sure it's going in.
Yeah.
Here we go. Torqued out immediately.
Okay, copy, stand by.
It's going in. Yep, it's going smooth.
There's just been a little bit of a kink there.
Yeah. And nice and smooth, going in.
Yeah, it's traveling smooth to me.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, there's lock, torque out, green light, 9.4, 16 and a half turns.
Copy, Bob. Same settings, Alpha 7, clockwise 2 for H1, looking for 4 to 5.5 turns.
Copy on H1, 4 to 5.5 turns on Alpha 7, clockwise 2. Here it comes. Four and a half turns, green light, 9 on the torque, 0.0.
Copy, and status indicator?
It is locked.
Okay, you can hand that PGT back to Chris to stow on his swing arm and release the RET.
Chris has the PGT and here's your RET.
All right. I'll just take this scoop straight in front of me.
Okay. And shall I collect the scoop in front of me as well, Bess?
We're taking the scoop from H1 only. And that's going to be going over
H1
to
only.
the
Okay.
DCSU.
I have the scoop from H1.
You want me to put the scoop back on H2? I can move it to someplace.
Checking.
After I got the scoop, can I egress the APFR?
Affirm, Bob, you can egress. We're going to be relocating that scoop to the DCSU and rolling the APFR to Foxtrot.
Copy.
Jaws, confirm you want me to leave this scoop on H2. I already have it off. I'll put it back on if that's what you'd like.
We're looking for the next location for it. Stand by.
That self-talk is a little bit, yeah, it's kind of there, but it doesn't engage very far.
Yeah. It's not obviously.
It's definitely not obviously. You're trapping ingress aid there right underneath your belly.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, I moved it on you.
And Chris, you can either leave the H2 scoop there if you think it's going to be needed for body positioning, or you can move it to battery 4 at H1.
Okay, battery 4H1.
It'll go 9 o'clock straight up.
And Jaws, just to verify, roll to Foxtrot, correct, for the APFR?
A-firm Foxtrot.
And then what's my next? The scoop, correct?
And so that scoop that was off of H1.
Distancing is almost impossible because people kind of scoot in to grab something and all these kinds of things. So theoretically, the space itself is large enough, but people don't adhere to social distancing. And it's the same in churches. People want to seek religious counsel and commune with God, but in churches as well, that you have close proximity, very reduced airflow, and people coming together in large groups. St. George Street, too, is an outdoor functional area. However, you've been down there, everybody's crammed in super, super tight. So proximity is also an issue, and masks greatly reduce it. If I wear a mask, my reduction is 70%, as is yours. If you wear a mask, then you have an additional reduction of 70%. And now you're down to less than about 2% if you also institute social distancing. So